everybody! Today on Learning English with Lily, we're going to have a look at some commonly confused English words. There are a lot of words in English that look or sound very similar. Sometimes they even sound exactly the same, but they have very different meanings. And it's not just non-native speakers that get these words confused, okay? Native speakers confuse them all the time as well. The problem is that spell check doesn't always help us in this situation. If you misspell a word, spell check's like, hey, that's spelt incorrectly. But if you use a correctly spelt word in the wrong context, it doesn't really care. One of my pet hates, and a pet hate, by the way, is something that really annoys you. One of my pet hates is when people write defiantly instead of definitely. It seems to be so common because people spell definitely, definitely, bit of a strange spelling. They spell it incorrectly with an A instead of the second I. So they spell it definately, and spell check then corrects this to defiantly, and the results can be pretty funny. So when your flatmate messages you and says, let's get a takeaway tonight, and you reply saying, yeah, let's defiantly get a takeaway, you're basically saying, let's rebel against this system that dictates that we have to always cook at home. Whereas what you really want to say is, yeah, great idea, for sure. And all that because you misspelt definitely. You got to ask yourself, is it worth it? No. I defiantly want you to get this right. No, I definitely want you to get this right. Definitely, not defiantly. Okay, on to those commonly confused words. The first two are especially and specially. They're both adverbs. There's only one letter difference, so it's pretty understandable that people get them confused. Especially with an E means particularly or above all. She loves animals, especially cats. Specially, on the other hand, is used to talk about the specific purpose of something. These scissors are specially designed for cutting hair. Okay, next we have quite and quiet. This is a tricky pair. They're so similar. Okay, there's actually just one little difference in both the spelling and pronunciation. Quite is an adverb, and if you use it with a normal adjective or adverb, it means moderately, fairly. If you say he was walking quite slowly, then you're saying he was walking moderately slowly, not really slowly. However, if you use it with an extreme adjective or adverb, it means totally. So I can say, that meal was quite delicious, and it means it was absolutely delicious. Confusing, huh? If you want to learn a bit more about extreme adjectives and quite in this context, you can check out my video above. So you have quite with an E at the end, which means moderately or totally, depending on the word it's describing. And then you have quiet. Quiet, as I'm sure you know, is an adjective that means making very little or no noise. Listen to the difference. Quite, quiet. Quite, quiet. In terms of spelling, the E is before the T, and you can hear that difference. Quite, E after the T. Quiet, E before the T. In quiet, the E is a schwa sound. Quiet. If you want to learn more about the schwa, I have two very educational videos for you. Check them out. It's quite quiet in this restaurant. Hello everyone, great to see you. What are you having? My round. Huh? Waiter! Well, it was until he arrived. On to the next pair. Break, B-R-E-A-K, and break, B-R-A-K-E. You'll notice that these are homophones, which are words that sound the same but are spelt differently. I've also done a class about that. If you want to check it out, you can find the details up there. Native speakers always confuse these two spellings of break. It's a nightmare. Break, B-R-E-A-K, has many different meanings, but as a verb, the most common are, number one, split something into pieces, especially suddenly. I broke the mirror. And number two, stop something from functioning correctly. So I spilt water on my phone and it broke. As a noun, the most common use of break is to have a pause from an activity. If you've been working for a few hours in front of a computer, it's probably time to take a break. Break, B-R-A-K-E, as a verb, means make a moving vehicle slow down. He had to brake suddenly. And the noun is the device that you use to slow down. So he put his foot on the brake. Simple, right? No. This one's a bit simpler. We have advice with a C and advise with an S. Advice with a C is a noun. She gave me good advice. Notice the S sound in there. Whereas advise with an S is the verb. She advised me not to do it. And there you have the Z sound. So advice, noun, advise, verb. The last pair we're going to look at is historic versus historical. These always get confused. So what's the difference? Okay, they're both adjectives. Historic means important in history. Thousands of people gathered together to mark this historic occasion. Whereas historical simply means concerning history or past events. The film was based on historical events. So that's it for today, guys. Lots of information, I know. I hope you learned something. Okay, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Next week, we'll be having a look at some more commonly confused words. Have a great week, and I will see you then.